a lot to unpack here, a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. Like I said, GM is at the Nürburgring with these three particular models, the Z06, the ZR1, and the potentially upcoming Zora model, which is basically going to be an all-wheel drive version of...
So there he just made a statement. They're there with the Z06, the ZR1, and the Zora. He doesn't say anything about an all-wheel drive Z06, okay? He says all-wheel drive ZR1, okay? That's his first statement. Now he's going to double back and do it another way. This is what he does. It's really clever. And then when he does, he goes back and deletes when he's wrong later. And he thinks that I don't understand it, and I call him out on it. This is before, when we were losing our friendship, when we were still talking on the phone, he was defending. He's like, I said that in the episode. I said, but you said the opposite 3 different ways also in the episode. You're spreading bullshit. Oh, I said the truth. So, and then he has the audacity to delete the bullshit and say that he's always right. It really makes me sick.
Of the C8 Corvette ZR1. How do we know that? Well, there's a lot of giveaways with the cars that they're testing over there because one of them looks exactly like a ZR1, but it has the front hybrid motor cooler that mounts vertically.
That's the one that's the potential all-wheel drive Z06. So he's saying that that's the Zora. So remember that, because later he's going to say, see, I got that right and Brandon was wrong. If that turns out that that is a Zora and not an all-wheel drive Z06. So it's really clever the way he does this shit. And he doesn't think we get it, but I want you guys to be privy to it. And then, you know, I have a feeling it's going to come down to court day one day with this guy, and he's going to try to present false evidence to the judge. So that's just why I'm documenting, at least with one video, what he does, because he does it all the time, and I catch it.
On the driver's side radiator area. On top of that, there is actually a yellow sticker on the back of this particular car that shows that is a hybrid vehicle. Now, those stickers are there to let people know that that is in fact a hybrid vehicle. If it were to get into an accident or anything, it has to have specific care taken for it. So those yellow stickers have to be visible. Again, we're looking at what looks like a ZR1 with a yellow sticker and that hybrid motor cooler up front. We are obviously looking at the all-wheel drive version of the ZR1. Whatever they end up calling it, that's what we're looking at here. There's been some rumors that this is going to be the Zora option. We here on this channel actually started the rumor over a year ago that the all-wheel drive option would in fact be a checkbox for the ZR1.
He thinks he started the rumor. Do you understand what a lie that is? Like, it's insane. Dude, keep lying.
Not necessarily an entirely new model. The reason we speculated this was because before Taj retired, he had done some public appearances and public videos with other influencers talking about the fact that the C8 Corvette ZR1 was the most expensive variant they were going to offer in the C8 Corvette lineup. So how do you get a hybrid assisted ZR1 that costs less than a normal non-hybrid assisted ZR1? Well, you make it a checkbox. That way it's still a ZR1 plus a checkbox that then makes it all-wheel drive. That was my thought on the entire process, and that's something we talked about on this channel on a live video over a year ago. Now, today, it's looking more legit than ever. We are talking about the ZR1 with possibly a checkbox going to either be called the Zora or something that Rick Conti had talked about on his channel, the ZR1E. It's going to have some sort of different name to imply that the Zora or ZR1E checkbox has in fact been checked, but at the end of the day, it's still going to bear that ZR1 name. Now, where things get really interesting, GM is obviously over there to produce some numbers, and that's fantastic. We have an unofficial Z06 number.
So up until this point, he has not mentioned all-wheel drive Z06 yet.
Disappointed us. Now there are other YouTube channels out there that kind of specialize in Nürburgring racing, and they have come out and said that they feel the Z06 could do better than the 7+ minute time that this other YouTube channel has done. I personally think that we are in the realm of just shy of 7 minutes with the Z06, and I would love to see Chevy come out of this whole thing with actual Nürburgring times for all 3 of these cars that they have over there. Now, another reason that they have the Z06 there, other than just putting out a lap time, is the potential that this hybrid engine or the all-wheel drive setup makes it to other performance variants as well. So that Zora checkbox we were talking about with the ZR1, yeah, that could possibly be coming to the Z06 as well, and thus giving both of these models all-wheel drive and more horsepower. So the rumor currently is somewhere around 12 to 13.
But he doesn't say that the purple car is potentially the all-wheel drive Z06, even though it says Z06 on the side. He won't report that because I reported that and he said I was wrong. You see? And so now he's trying to cover his ass so that later he can delete the other part and leave that part up and say, Brandon, I agreed with you. He's a weasel.
100 horsepower for the ZR1E or Zora model. And obviously, if we add roughly 160 to 200 more horsepower to the Z06, we would have roughly 850-ish horsepower on that particular model as well. So you're talking about more horsepower, more traction with the all-wheel drive setup. It seems like a win-win. With all that said, we are going to possibly get some official numbers from the Nürburgring like we were talking about. And that would be a beautiful thing if we could see exactly how fast the Z06 would be on the Nürburgring done by actual GM drivers. And with the ZR1, the same kind of thing. And then obviously on top of that, the Zora or ZR1E car showing us the lap time, and maybe even the Z06E or whatever they're going to call that car as well. Obviously, these are stock cars, and some of them have...
So again, right there, you said there's only 3 cars there, Z06, ZR1, and ZR1E. That's the only 3 cars that he keeps saying are there. But he put in that snippet about how there's potentially all-wheel drive Z06 is coming, but he refuses to admit that I was right about the purple car being an all-wheel drive Z06 potentially, because it says it right on the fucking side, Z06.
The hybrid component added to them, and some of them don't. So one of the pictures, the thumbnail of this video actually is a ZR1. You can tell there's no hybrid cooler in the front, and there's no yellow sticker on the back showing that it is in fact a hybrid vehicle. So this is just a C8 ZR1. The biggest reason we have the stock cars and the hybrid versions of them over there, so we can get numbers across the board, which would be very, very awesome if that's the case. I actually had a subscriber of mine reach out to me because he was at the Nürburgring taking some videos and some pictures of these cars as they were going around. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see throughout this particular video is photos and videos shot from this subscriber. So let's give Greg a big thumbs up for sharing this stuff with me. I think that was really awesome. Thank you, Greg, for shooting those images and videos over to me. It was really awesome to see this stuff in person.
Now, granted, that purple car sounded like a ZR1. I will say that. It didn't sound Z06-ish.
The mid-engine Corvette forum goes on to say that these cars are planned to be over there for 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. So GM... Very, very awesome if that's the case. I actually had a subscriber of mine reach out to me because he was at the Nürburgring taking some videos and some pictures of these cars as they were going around. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see throughout this particular video is photos and videos shot from this subscriber. So let's give Greg a big thumbs up for sharing this stuff with me. I think that was really awesome. Thank you, Greg, for shooting those images and videos over to me. It was really awesome to see this stuff in person.
So the purple car sounds like a ZR1 to me, just FYI, even though it says Z06 on it.
The mid-engine Corvette forum goes on to say that these cars are planned to be over there for 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. So GM's not messing around this time. They don't want to get over there for a couple days and be rained out or have a problem on the track where they...
And see, instead of him explain that and say, Brandon was right, this car did say Z06 on the side. We all said he was full of shit, because that's what they did behind the scenes. They told everybody I had no clue what I was talking about. And then say, but when I listen to the car, it sounds like a ZR1. I would have agreed with him. But instead, he doesn't bring that part up that the purple car had Z06 on the side. So now I'm just a liar. You see what I'm saying? It's weird. It sucks.
At their times, it sounds to me like they're going over there for the real deal. They are going to bring us home sometimes, and that would be fantastic. Obviously, with the Mustang GTD, we have had 2 sub-7-minute runs over there from Ford. That's not good for us Chevy or Corvette guys. We need something to combat them with. So I think we're going to get some official numbers from Chevy, and odds are very good. They're going to be better than the Mustang GTD. The Corvette blogger actually showed that the photographer that they have over there taking some of these photos that we've seen in this video says that there are at least 6 Corvettes being tested. There's 2 Z06s wearing Accelerate Yellow and black, 2 ZR1 Coupes in black and red, and 2 Zora cars in purple and competition yellow throughout the group. Like I said, we got a regular Z06 and the hybrid Z06, a regular ZR1 and the hybrid ZR1. The Z06...
No, that's not what you said. So this is where he does it. So pay close attention here. He said there's 2 regular Z06s, 2 ZR1s, and 2 Zoras. Then he immediately follows it up with the opposite. Watch this. This is what he's notorious for doing. I can't stand it. He doesn't take a stance. He paints it every which way, and then later he says that he knew and everybody else was wrong. Watch.
Corvette guys, we need something to combat them with. So I think we're going to get some official numbers from Chevy, and odds are very good. They're going to be better than the Mustang GTD. The Corvette blogger actually showed that the photographer that they have over there taking some of these photos that we've seen in this video says that there are at least 6 Corvettes being tested. There's 2 Z06s wearing Accelerate Yellow and black, 2 ZR1 Coupes in black and
2
red,
ZR1,
and 2 Zora cars in purple
2
and
Zoras.
competition yellow throughout the group.
Now listen to the next
Like I
sentence.
said, we got a regular Z06 and the hybrid Z06, a regular ZR1 and the hybrid ZR1.
Like I said, we got a regular Z06 and a hybrid Z06. No, that's not like what you said. You just changed what you said so that you can delete the other one later and say that I'm crazy and then try to take me to court and say that I'm slandering you for spreading bullshit. One of these 2 statements is bullshit. And I don't care that you don't know the answer. but instead say that, instead of say it affirmatively, because then what he does later is he brags. He's like, we called this. I knew exactly what it was. And it's just, it reeks of arrogance because he doesn't know what they are. And this is evidence right here. You can see him double back on himself.
The Z06s and ZR1s appear to be production, or in the case of the ZR1, production-ready capture test fleet cars. And we know that many C8 owners would welcome seeing Chevy really going after some fast lap times for bragging rights, obviously with the Mustang GTD stuff we just talked about. And that will kind of put the Corvette team back in the record-chasing business. And that's awesome, guys. Like I said, we all win whenever these manufacturers kind of leapfrog each other. Keith Cornett over at the Corvette Blogger goes on to say that at the NCM Bash in April, Tony Roma suggested that the engineers weren't quite finished yet with the testing of these cars over at the Nürburgring, and that perhaps the new leadership has been able to convince GM's brass that it's time for some timed hot laps. After the Z06 debacle with the YouTube channel going over there and not really getting the best time, it kind of threw water on the fire of the Z06. It kind of cooled everything down because it wasn't as good of a number as we had speculated it would be. But I have a feeling that's going to change here. The Corvette Blogger goes on to say that going back to the cars, they also found it interesting that Chevy brought at least 2 Zora models with them. The Hysteria Purple and the Competition Yellow Coupes have that hybrid sticker on the rear engine glass, and that is, of course, required whenever a vehicle at the Nürburgring has that hybrid power.
Okay, so anyway, you get the idea. He says every which way to Sunday of the possibility, and then he deletes the other ones later. So just be aware. And I can't sit here and do this with every single one of his videos, but just understand when he says, you can go back and look at my other video, I called it. It's because he calls every possibility under the sun. And then he deletes it later. He deletes the parts where he was wrong. See ya.